Welcome back to another explainer. You know, we love taking these fascinating, kind of hidden concepts and breaking them down so you can actually use them in your own life. And today we are looking at something completely counterintuitive. For most of us, credit cards are basically seen as a necessary evil, right? Or worse, a dangerous trap that leads straight to crushing debt. But what if I told you the ultra-wealthy look at that little piece of plastic in your wallet entirely differently? To them, it's absolutely not a debt trap. It is a wealth-building tool. So today, we're going to dive right in and explore exactly how billionaires generate free money using a system that is literally hiding in plain sight. So why on earth do billionaires have like 20 credit cards? And why do they actually use every single one of them? I mean, the initial reaction for most of us is probably, wow, that is just a massive debt disaster waiting to happen. But that assumption couldn't be further from the truth. They aren't hoarding all these cards because they're broke or need the credit. They have them because when you use them with absolute mechanical precision, they act as a literal money printer. Seriously, it sounds crazy, I know, but it really just comes down to understanding the mechanics behind it. Section 1, the credit card money printer. Okay, so to understand how a basic piece of plastic actually turns into a money printer, we have to completely rewire how we think about the timeline of spending. It all kicks off with this quirky little concept we call the 30-day float. It's a super simple question. When you swipe your card today to, say, buy lunch, or a new car, or an entire company's worth of server space, does the actual cash leave your checking account today? Nope, it sure doesn't. The bill isn't actually due until a whole month later, so you've got the goods, but you also still have the cash. For 30 days, that money is just sitting there. And guys, this is the foundational secret. The wealthy don't look at this gap in time as just a delay in payment. They see it as a massive opportunity. Section 2, earning on the float. So what exactly are you supposed to do with that unspent cash during this 30-day grace period? Well, if you just let it sit in a regular checking account doing absolutely nothing, you are entirely missing the trick. The ultra-wealthy do not let their money sit idle, like ever. Instead of leaving that cash where it earns a big fat zero, they immediately move the exact amount they owe the credit card company into a high-yield savings account, or an HYSA. Just think about that for a second. They are earning interest on money they have technically already spent. The money is spoken for, the purchase is done and dusted, but because of that 30-day float, the cash is safely sitting in an account, generating passive income for them day after day. To really make this concept hit home, let's look at the math. Let's scale this up to the level of the ultra-wealthy to see the real impact. Imagine an individual, or maybe a business, that spends $1 million this month on their credit cards. Now, I know that sounds like a ridiculously massive bill, but remember, the cash to pay for that $1 million spend is already sitting right there in their possession. They haven't handed a single dime to the credit card company yet. That entire $1 million is just going to sit in their high-yield savings account for 30 whole days. And while it sits there, it's doing work. Let's say that high-yield savings account is generating a pretty standard 5% interest rate. 5% on $1 million, compounded and calculated over that short 30-day time window. That is $4,000. It's staggeringly simple. Just by letting that $1 million chill in a savings account for 30 days at a 5% interest rate, they generate roughly $4 grand. And for doing what exactly? For doing absolutely nothing different. They still bought the exact same things, they still spent the exact same money, but simply by leveraging the timeline of the credit card, they literally extracted $4,000 of pure, free money out of thin air every single month. Section 3, the double dip reward strategy. Now, earning interest on the float. That is only half the equation here. The second hit is where it gets really fun. Every single dollar they swipe on that card is also racking up rewards. We're talking points, cash back, travel miles, crazy luxury upgrades. They are literally earning on both sides of the transaction. On one hand, they're getting bank interest on the actual cash sitting safely in their savings account. And on the other hand, they're grabbing points from the credit card company for every dollar they swipe. It is the exact same card, but they've magically turned it into two totally distinct passive income streams. It's a double dip. Zero interest paid. Ever. Now, you might be sitting there wondering, okay, sure, but what about the actual credit card bill at the end of the month? Don't the fees cancel all this out? Well, the absolute linchpin of this entire strategy, the one reason this whole thing works without completely collapsing, is that they pay the bill in full every single time. By paying the balance completely before that due date hits, they never pay a single dime in interest to the bank. Not once. They take all the benefits, and they accept absolutely none of the penalties. Let's quickly summarize exactly how they execute this flawless loop. It's basically a 4-step playbook.
Step 1, they swipe the card for whatever they're buying. Step 2, they immediately move the equivalent cash into a high-yield savings account. Step 3, over the next 30 days, they just sit back and collect the credit card rewards on the front end and the bank interest on the back end. And finally, step 4, right before that 30-day window slams shut, they pull the original cash out of savings and pay the credit card bill in full. They keep the rewards, they keep the interest, and they just repeat the whole cycle again next month. It is a perfectly executed closed-loop system.
Section 4. The bank's hidden bet. So if this system is so unbelievably good, it begs the question, why do banks even bother offering credit cards? If billionaires are just systematically extracting free money and paying zero interest, how on earth does the banking industry make its massive record-breaking profits? Well, it all comes down to a really jarring juxtaposition. This is the exact same piece of plastic, but it represents two completely different realities. On one side, you have the billionaire's game, 0% interest ever paid, while seamlessly extracting dual income streams in the form of yield and rewards. But then, on the other side, you have the normal game, everyday consumers getting stuck paying massive 28% interest rates because they are carrying a costly balance from month to month. Exact same tool, totally different game. And honestly, this is the ugly truth of the whole system. The bank built this entire infrastructure betting on your failure. That is literally their entire business model. They dangle the points, the cashback, and that nice 30-day float as bait, fully 100% expecting that eventually life will happen, you'll slip up, you'll overspend a bit, maybe you miss a payment, and boom, you carry a balance. The very second you do that, that massive 28% interest rate kicks in, wiping out any puny rewards you might have earned and locking you straight into debt. The bank is making a very calculated wager that you just won't be disciplined enough. Which brings us to this incredibly powerful quote straight from our source material. Billionaires understand the bet, and they never lose it. The ultra-wealthy, they see the trap clear as day. They know the bank is just sitting there waiting for them to stumble, so they engineer their entire financial lives with rigorous, almost obsessive discipline to ensure they never do. They use the card, they aggressively collect every single perk, they pay it off in full, and they repeat. They force the entire financial system to work 100% in their favor, flipping a tool of debt completely upside down into a tool of wealth. And that leaves us with the ultimate question to wrap up today's explainer. Take a look in your own wallet. You likely have the exact same card, issued from the exact same bank with the exact same rules as the ultra-wealthy. The mechanics we just talked about, they are available to anyone who is willing to put in the discipline. You have the tool in your hand right now. The real question is, are you playing it right? Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.